and the starting stitch of this bag. We use chevrons, 5 grains milk cotton, 3 balls. Pull out the thread end of each ball. Crochet with all 3 strands together. We bring the thread, like this. Press the little finger to hang on the index finger, and wrap it around the middle finger like this. Leave a section of thread. Press the intersection with your thumb. Hook the needle directly into this loop. Hook like this. Hook the thread on the index finger directly over. Then we crochet a slip stitch. Directly stand a needle and make a slip stitch. Take down the loop. Hold 2. It's the 3rd slip stitch. Put a marker on it to mark it. Next, we start to crochet long stitches. Insert the hook into the loop and wind the thread, and hook it through the loop. Then hook through the 2 loops on the needle. Then hook through the 2 loops on the needle. This is the way to crochet a long stitch. We use the same method. We need to crochet 11 long stitches, including 3 standing stitches, which is the starting stitch. A total of 12 stitches. First, wind the thread and insert it into the loop. When we crochet, keep it above the crochet hook and hide it as you crochet. Everyone can crochet in this way. Long stitches. First, finish crocheting these 11 long stitches. Finish it yourself. When crocheting, thumbs and middle finger should hold the thread at the left end. And hold it. It's better this way. Press the thread like this. Then hook the 2 loops on the needle. When hooking, the hook should wind the thread, and the hook should be facing down to bring the thread. It's easier to pass through all the loops. Take it like this. First, wind the thread. Hook the thread up and over. Pull it up a little bit. It's not easy to pull if it's too tight. A little longer. The fabric you crochet like this will be slightly looser. It's easier to hook the thread over. Wind the thread, then hook through the 2 loops on the needle. This is the way to crochet a long stitch. Everyone finish the 11 long stitches by yourself. Finish crocheting them yourself. I have finished crocheting 11 long stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting 8, the 3 lock stitches
9,
of the starting stitch,
10,
as
11.
1 long stitch. We have a total of 12 stitches. Tighten all 3 threads together. Pull it tighter. Okay, like this. Next, we'll finish and connect the hook. Insert the hook into the stitch marked by the marker, which is the 3rd lock stitch. Inside this stitch, take off the marker. Insert the needle like this. When inserting the needle, pass through 2 threads. Just 1 here and 1 here. Insert the needle through both threads like this. Wrap these 3 threads around the hook needle. We directly wrap the thread around the hook to hook it over. When there are 2 loops on the needle, use the front loop to hook over, and the back loop to pull out the needle. Okay, let's start the needle like this. After we finish the first round, there are 12 stitches in total. Next, we directly hook the needle and wind the thread. We also hook 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3 stitches. Put a marker on the 3rd stitch to mark it. Next, we use the hook needle. First, wind the thread. Hook a long stitch, positive pull stitch, which is to hook the needle in the corresponding stitch, which is the first round of 3 stitches, on the top of the lock stitch. After winding the thread like this, insert the hook from this position. and pull it out from this position. We wind the thread to wrap around the hook needle. Hook the thread over the hook and pull it through. Pick up the loop like this. This is called the positive pull of the positive stitch. Hook the needle around the thread and hook the two loops on the hook. Then wind the thread. Insert the needle into the next stitch. Just the next stitch. Insert the hook into this stitch. This is the position. This stitch was originally this big. Half of it is hooked, and take up part of it so it becomes smaller. However, we insert the needle at this position. Before inserting the needle, you must first wind the thread, then insert the needle, hook the thread over, and make a slightly longer loop. Hook a long stitch. Hook the two loops on the needle with the thread. Then wind the thread. Hook over the two loops on the needle. This is the way to crochet a long stitch. After hooking, we use the hook needle. Wind the thread on the stitch where the long stitch is completed. The corresponding stitch is in this position. There are columns here. On each pillar, we need to crochet a long stitch. Insert the hook from this position. Jump like this. Wrap the thread around the hook and hook it over. Hook the needle and thread directly through it. Okay. Like this. Then wind the thread on the hook. In the next stitch, we insert the hook. And this stitch also becomes smaller. In this position, become smaller. Insert two threads in this position. Insert the needle directly like this. Like this. Put the end of the thread above the crochet hook. It's the same. First wind the thread and then insert the needle. Don't forget to hook a long stitch. It's a long stitch, a positive pull stitch, a long stitch. Alternate like this. For this thread end, I won't continue to hide it. Later, I will use a sewing needle to into the knitted fabric. To hide it, hook the needle and wind the thread, this long stitch, in the corresponding stitch, and make a positive pull stitch of long needle. In this way, to lift up this pillar, wrap the thread around the hook, and directly bring it over, and hook through the two loops on the needle, and then hook through the two loops on the needle. This is the positive pull stitch of long stitch. It's actually the same as crocheting a long stitch, just the insertion position is different. Hook the needle and wind the thread. Hook a long stitch in this position, and hook a long stitch on this stitch. Hook the needle and wind the thread on the pillar below it. Pull it apart. If you can't see clearly, you can pull it apart. It's good. Hook it over. That is to say, we hook a long stitch on each stitch. And hook one long stitch on each pillar. Positive pull stitch of a long stitch. Alternate to hook. After hooking this long stitch, we wind the thread. Insert the hook into the next stitch and hook a long stitch. Then wind the thread and hook a long stitch. Corresponding stitch on this pillar to hook a long stitch. Don't make the length too long. You can do it like this, close to the edge, as high as this position, which is more appropriate. This way, the hook needle is close to the edge. Hook needle and hook through the two loops on the needle. Then hook through the two loops on the needle. Thread the needle to hook a long stitch. After hooking the long stitch on the corresponding pillar, to hook a long stitch positive pull needle. After crocheting the long stitch on the corresponding pillar, we wind the thread to hook a long stitch forward pull needle. It's a long stitch again. On the corresponding pillar, we wind the thread to make a long stitch. The height should be close to the edge. is more appropriate. Hook the needle like this, and hook through to loops, and then hook through to loops. Alternate like this. After hooking, there are 24 stitches. Actually, we are equivalent to. We have 2 stitches, but one is inserted in this position to make long stitches, and the next one is hooked on this pillar, and the other is a positive pull stitch. The number of stitches will increase from 12 to 24. The number doubles. Everyone follow this method. Finish crocheting this entire round. Finish the second round by yourself. After finishing, we insert the hook at the marked position. To insert the hook and pull it out, take off the marker first. Insert the needle like this. You need to pass through both threads here. Don't pick out 2 threads. Insert the needle, wind the thread, and directly hook it. Use the front loop to pass through the back loop. The connection of the beginning and end. The crocheting method is the same. To hook the slip stitch, then hook 3 lock stitches. 1, 2, 3. It's the same on the 3rd lock stitch. Put a marker on it. It's the same for every round. Next, we directly wind the thread on the hook. Insert the hook into the stitch of the slip stitch, and hook a long stitch out. Okay, now the long stitch is done. After hooking the long stitch, next, we'll crochet the positive pull stitch of long stitch is on the previous row, on the stitch of the positive pull needle. Wind the thread on the hook. Insert the hook into the stitch of the positive pull needle, and make a positive pull stitch. After finishing, wind the thread on the hook. Next, in this position, to hook 2 long stitches in the same stitch. Insert the hook into this position. Insert the hook into the stitch corresponding to the pillar. Insert the hook and make 2 long stitches. It's like getting stitches. You should control the tightness when crocheting. The height you crochet. Try to keep it consistent. Wind the thread on the hook. Insert the needle. The tension of the 3 threads should be consistent. Wind the thread and insert the needle. Next, wind the hook with thread. It's time for the positive pull stitch again. On this stitch, the same positive pull stitch. Okay, it's equivalent to this positive pull stitch and this positive pull stitch. In the middle of this stitch, 2 stitches are hooked. Here, the hook is wound. Insert the hook into this stitch and hook a long stitch increase. Yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into this stitch. Hook a regular pull stitch and wind the thread, and hook an extra stitch in this position. In the next stitch, hook a positive pull needle. The further you go, the pattern will become more obvious, and it's easier to find the position. Like this, the finished stitch will be raised. Normal long stitch. It has this kind of stitch pattern. The pull needle is raised. Everyone follow this method to finish the rest of the circle. Finish the 3rd round by yourself. After we finish crocheting, take off the marker. Start to finish and connect. Insert the needle here. Pull up the needle. This is the 3rd round of stitches. The 1st round. This is the 2nd round. This is the 3rd round. Next, we will crochet the 4th round. Now we are crocheting the 4th round. First, make 3 chain stitches. Then on the 3rd chain stitch, and put a marker on it. Next, the hook is wound around the thread. This is equivalent to a long stitch, so we can think of it as a long stitch. It's a long stitch and a stitch increase. So in the next stitch, at this position, we should crochet a long stitch increase. First, Wind the thread here. Insert the hook like this. Wrap the thread around the hook and pull it through. Hook a long stitch and wind the thread. Insert the needle and add a long stitch. Okay, long stitch increase. After hooking, wind the thread. We hook it on the outer long stitch. We'll hook an outer long stitch. Hook needle around thread. On these 2 stitches, we hook a long stitch and a long stitch increase. So here we crochet an extra long stitch. Hook a long stitch with the hook and wind the thread around the next stitch and a long stitch increase. Okay, hook the needle and wind the thread. We hook an outer long stitch. In this position is the outer crochet long stitch of the previous row and hook from the top. This position will not change. It's fixed. You just hook in the same position, and extend it. If you understand it this way, you can understand that between 2 outer crochet stitches is to add 1 stitch between every 2 stitches. Originally, between 2 long stitches, between 2 outer crochet stitches, there is an increase. Here, it's 1 stitch between 2 long stitches. The next row is 1 stitch every 2 stitches. The next row is to add 1 stitch every 3 stitches. Add stitches according to this pattern. The next row is easier to understand. Between 2 outer long stitches, you crochet 1 stitch and 1 stitch, which is 1 long stitch and 1 long stitch with addition. After hooking, hook an outer long stitch. Okay, wind the thread again, then a long stitch, and 1 long stitch with an addition, then hook an outer long stitch. Repeat this cycle until the end. Everyone, finish this row by yourself. Finish the 4th row yourself. Now we are on the 4th row. We have reached the end of this row. Take off the marker. At the position marked by the marker, insert the hook and pull up the loop. After the backstitch, we will finish. After the 4th row, there are 48 stitches. The 3rd row is 36 stitches. So, how we get the number of stitches? It's the number of rows you've crocheted times 12. If you crochet the 4th row, multiply 4 by 12 to get 48 stitches. For the 3rd row, use 3 times 12 to get 36 stitches. Crochet the 5th row. We use 5 times 12 to get 60 stitches. Try to count the stitches after crocheting, not more or less. Next, we will crochet the 5th row using the same method. First, make 3 chain stitches. Put a mark on the 3rd chain stitch. Remove the marker. Next, use the crochet hook and hook a long stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch. Hook a long stitch and wind the thread around the next stitch, and then hook a long stitch and add a stitch. Because the 3 chains we made have been regarded as a long stitch, so between 2 outer long stitches is to add 1 stitch between 2 stitches. Here, we add 1 stitch between every one. In the next row, add 1 stitch every 2 stitches. When we crocheted the 4th row, we talked about the stitch adding rule. An outer hook long stitch is regarded as a long stitch. 1, 2. 2 long stitches. 1 stitch increase. Outer hook long stitch. Next, just crochet according to this pattern, and you can do it. Just 2 long stitches. 1 long stitch and 1 increase stitch. Okay, crochet an outer hook after hooking 2 long stitches. And then in the next stitch, add a long stitch. After hooking, the hook wins the thread and hook an outer long stitch. Like this. Next, repeat the knitting method here. 2 long stitches and 1 long stitch increase, a long crochet stitch. And repeat this way. Finish this round by yourself. Finish the 5th row. We'll end here. Take off the marker. Connect the beginning and end. Pull up the hook. Pull out the needle. After hooking, we still use the same method. Crochet 3 chain stitches as a standing stitch, or a long stitch. On the 3rd chain stitch, put a marker on it to mark it. Then, the hook thread around. Insert the hook into this stitch and hook a long stitch. Treat the 3 chain stitches as a long stitch. There are 2 long stitches here. Hook needle around thread. Insert the hook again, this is the 3rd one. Next, in this stitch, you should crochet an increase. It becomes every 3 stitches plus 1. The previous row is 2 stitches and 1 stitch. This row is 3 stitches and 1 stitch. The previous row, that is the 5th row, is 2 long stitches and 1 stitch. On the 6th row, 3 long stitches and 1 stitch. Treat these 3 chain stitches as 1 long stitch. Then the hook is wound around the thread and hook an outer long stitch, which is the positive pull stitch of long stitch. Hook needle around thread. Insert the hook. Then hook 3 long stitches. 2, 3. Hook needle around thread and make an increase stitch in this position. 1, 2, 3. Make an increase. Hook needle around thread. Outer hook long stitch. Hook needle around thread. Insert the hook. Hook 1, 2. 3 loops. And make an increase. Hook needle around thread. This is a positive pull stitch of a long stitch. Okay, this row, all in this way. To crochet 1, 2, 3 long stitches. 1 long stitch, 1 increase stitch. Then hook the positive pull stitch. Then hook an increase stitch on 1, 2, 3. Then hook the positive pull stitch. Repeat this cycle to finish this round. The number of stitches becomes 72. You can do it yourself. The number of stitches after the 6th row is 72. Take off the marker and crochet the drawstring. At the position marked by the marker, insert the needle and wind the thread. Pull up the hook. Like this, the bottom part of the bag is finished. Measure the diameter of the bottom of the bag, about 19 centimeters in length. Next, we start to crochet the body part. Next, we crochet the 7th row, which is the body part. First, make 2 slip stitches. Finish to chain stitches. Then the hook needle winds the thread and hook the reverse stitch of long stitch. Normally, we do the forward stitch like this. We hook from the front. For the reverse stitch, we insert the hook from the back like this. And insert the hook like this. Then hook the needle around the thread to hook it over. Then hook the reverse pull stitch. Hook through the 2 loops on the needle, and then hook through the 2 loops on the needle. Then, next, hook the needle and wind the thread. We leave this stitch unhooked and start from. Start hooking from these 2 stitches. These 3 stitches form a group of flowers. So this stitch is skipped first. And start from the 2 stitches behind. Hook the needle and wind the thread. Pick up this stitch first. Leave this stitch empty and don't hook it. Pick up this stitch and hook a positive pull stitch. Then wind the thread again and hook a positive pull stitch. Then wind the hook. Return to the empty stitch above. Hook. Pull the needle. Then you can lengthen the length a little bit. A little longer. Then hook the needle and pull it over. After hooking, hook the needle around the thread and hook a reverse pull stitch. There is one stitch left here. Then insert the needle from the back. Then insert it back. Then wind the thread around the hook to bring the thread over. Then the hook needle winds the thread. Hook through the first 2 loops, and then hook the last 2 loops. This is a set of flower patterns. We have finished the stitch. The hook needle is still on the thread. Pull the needle forward. After hooking the sides of the positive stitch, we are crocheting reverse stitches. So the crochet hook wraps the thread. We insert the needle from the back and bring the thread over. We are crocheting reverse stitches. Okay. The 2 stitches on both sides of the positive stitch are reverse stitches. Next, we come to these 3 stitches again. Skip this stitch and don't hook it. We hook 2 stitches of positive pull needle. After hooking these 2 stitches, and insert the hook back. Hook needle around thread. We hook the reverse stitch on this stitch. On the hook, wind the thread, and on this stitch, we hook positive pull stitches. On the hook, the needle next to the thread is a reverse pull needle. Next, we come to this position, which is 3 stitches in a group. Leave this stitch empty. We start from the last stitch. 2 positive pull stitches, and pull it back. It makes a reverse pull stitch like this. Insert the hook into the anti-pull stitch and pull it up. This is the position. This is the first standing stitch. This is the second one. This is a reverse stitch. Insert the needle on the back stitch. Hook, wind, and pull the needle.